this ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Raceway for ultimate activation. Hello all and welcome to Zwartkops Raceway. It is the penultimate round of the 2019 Red Square Kawasaki ZX10 Masters Cup Championship, and it's all going down to the wire. Graham from Idar, he's got one hand and four fingers on that number one plate heading into 2020. Watch out for Zwartkops. He's out there to upset the apple cart. Michael Schmidt as well, looking to put himself on the podium. Don't count out the old wily contenders like Johan Leroux, Jonty Collard in the mix, Teddy Brook, Gareth Jackson and Ian Hardwood. The Bridgestone tyres have been fitted to all the machines. They run the same Bridgestone R11 race rubber, and the riders head out on track. Very similar Kawasaki ZX10R machines, some old, some new, but about to line up on the grid for the second and final time of the 2019 season. Can Graham from Idar put two hands on that trophy? Joining me as always is Dave Peterson. And Dave, coming to the final stages now. Oh, someone's heading into pit lane there. Not too sure who that is, but Dave, it's been such an exciting championship. It's coming to the boiling point now. Can Graham from Idar make it another title?
Well, he only has to score a first place here, and basically he's wrapped it up. And judging by the way he's been going in practice, I think Graham from Idar is going to be the man to beat here. Panaganopathy's pulled into the pit lane, so I think Stewie Christie and a punter have gone into pit lane at the start of the race. Not really sure what's gone on there. They're also checking out the surface of the track, just finding out from Johan Free there if everything's okay. Graham from Idar's got his opinion. They're saying, yeah, there's a bit of oil down, but we can see it. They put cement down. Jonty Collard will be looking for a good one today, and so will Johan Leroux with that Isle of Man TT crash helmet.
Yeah, he always throws his name into the hat here at Zwartkops Raceway. That's how it all lines up then. Join us after the break for Race 1 action. Welcome back to Zwartkops Raceway, and the tension is starting to build here. The penultimate round of what has been another exciting championship in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. On the starting line, Graham from Idar is the man looking to turn that 41 into a number one. Zwartkops has got to try and stop him. Look out for Michael Schmidt, Johan Leroux, Jonty Collard, Teddy Brook, Gareth Jackson up in the mix, and it's off the line into turn one. Can from Idar get that whole shot? Yes, he does.
And right behind him, Zwartkops and Michael Schmidt. There's Ian Hardwood on the brightly coloured Bridgestone bike. Great start from Hardwood. He's been having a few problems with his bike during the day.
Yeah, but he's going to have a nosebleed being that high up. Look out for a top 10 finish. All the riders sorting themselves out. Ruben Albenhauser also right in the mix as we go on board with Johan Leroux. He loves coming to Zwartkops. He's going to put himself in the mix for that top 5. He's right on the tailpiece there of Jonty Collard. He goes to that Johan Leroux line. Never mind the cement dust there. You can see the riders, some opting the outside line, some opting the inside line. They're hang scaling up to turn number 5 now. Is it still from Idar at the front end? Yes, it is. That's exactly where he needs to be if he wants to wrap up his second Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup title. Johan Leroux a little bit wide. Those Bridgestones did very well to keep him in check.
Ian Hardwood in that good dice there. He's involved with Lefraz Fritz. Gareth Jackson right there on the red bike as well. Heng Scaling just behind them. And Carl Rohrbeck on bike number 36 as we come down to that final turn. Where's he going, Ian Hardwood?
And he's on the Ian Hardwood line, the Bridgestone loving the grip that he's getting out of those tyres, and you can see he's actually getting held up a little bit. He's trying to make inroads to the front end of this field as we go on board here with Michael Schmidt. Beautiful shot of that big fat tyre at the back end of Zwartkops. Brilliant drive there from Coast. He closes onto the back end of From Idar, so Coast knows he's got to finish ahead of the Stefanudi Stocks Kawasaki machine if he's to have any chance at clawing this championship away from Idar.
Tricky conditions. You can see the stripe on the track there. So that's what's keeping the guys all bunched up like this, because they're having to be very careful where they go around. We're on board with Jaco Goos up on the brakes, and Jaco Goos hits the front for the first time in this race. Brilliant move.
There we go, first gear, back brake, stop, and here comes Michael Schmidt. So this is exactly what Jaco Goos will want. He'll want to put that Michael Schmidt in between himself and From Radar. Like you said, the track conditions, the riders just sorting themselves out. That's what's making it so nice and bunched up. John T. Collard right in the mix. So too is Johan Leroux. Michael Schmidt on the inside, and this is exactly going to script for Jaco Goos, not so much for From Radar.
Michael Schmidt, how did he do that on the brakes so late there? So much confidence on the front end. Graham From Radar, well, as we said, he's got a championship to think about. The other riders, John T. Collard, going around the outside of Graham From Radar. They've got nothing to lose. Collard has got his head down and chasing hard.
Yeah, looks like From Radar's in the frame of mind. He's not too comfortable with track conditions. He's just going to circulate, get as many points as he can in this race, and attack in race number 2. Bike 28, that was Lafarge Fritz. It's been a brilliant introduction to a full season of Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup for that man, and once again up there in the top 15.
We're on board here with Sifiso Tembo. Can't get any brighter coloured leathers than that, Rob, but they look brilliant. Well done, Sifiso.
Full factory rider there from Sifiso Tembo. Another rider improving. Just needs to sort out 1 or 2 gremlins on his bike, and he'll be up in the mix with these riders. Look at Michael Schmidt challenging Jaco Goos now. So I said it was going to script. Maybe not so much like this. Jaco Goos will tell Michael Schmidt, just sit behind me. I need these 25 points. This is a good battle. Ian Harwood, Henk Skane, and Ruan Olberhauser, Cole Robeck, Clifford Ogle just behind them. That is for the top 10, the final top 10 positions.
John T. Collard and JLR, Johan Leroux, are having a ding-dong battle. They've lost a few bike lengths on that lap as they came out of the hairpin. We're on board with Johan Leroux. You can see John T just ahead of them. Listen to this bike scream as they come up to that fabulous turn number 4, the fastest corner on the track.
Now, Jaco Goos doesn't seem too phased by track conditions. He just slams that front end right across the cement dust. From Radar is definitely the rider taking it easy. Ian Harwood, he's up inside a top 10. Brilliant ride there from him. A little bit further back, bike number 36 in a good dust. Cole Robeck, he's got Ruan Olberhauser, Clifford Ogle, Lafarge Fritz, and Sifiso Temba just behind him. So we've got really good battles. We've got a seesaw effect here at the front end. We've got what is a 5-way, 6-way battle at the front. From Radar doing everything he can to hold on to that podium. John T. Collard, he can sniff that podium. So From Radar, it's got to start concentrating on front because the pressure's coming from behind.
On board with Michael Schmidt, go down to turn 2, and he sneaks up on the inside of Jaco Goos. We've got a brand new leader in this race, Michael Schmidt. We could see that coming, Rob. He seemed to have that pace on the brakes ahead of Jaco Goos.
Like you said, Dave, he's got nothing to lose. He's come into this race. He's not too phased with the track conditions. Ian Harwood going around the outside of Henk Scaling. So he's another rider that doesn't seem too fussed with conditions. Ruan Olberhauser, Cole Robeck, they're in the mix there. That is that mid-pack dice. Sifiso Temba, he's clawed back a couple of tenths and he's right on the mix there. Johan Leroux! Oh, where did he come from to make the move? Is he going to get it stopped? Yes, he does. Exceptional riding once again from Johan Leroux. What does he take? I've seen him take panados before. I want to know what kind of panados that he's taking.
From a very special chemist, he's getting those. Now, John T. Collard will be wanting to fight back. Harwood has pulled just a little bit away now then from Henk Scaling, leaving that dice behind him. He'll be looking up the road to see who else he can catch in this race.
Graham From Radar still holding station there in 3rd place. He'll know it's not enough to wrap up the title in race number 1, but it's enough points to do it in race number 2. Ian Harwood looking on the inside. This is a good battle going on between Ian and Henk Scaling for what is about 8th and 9th place at the moment. So big points and big honours up in the various classes and categories that we've got in this race. Up there, Lafarge Fritz onto the front straight. He's in a good battle and trying to hold down that top 15.
Henk Scaling coming back at Ian Harwood during the end of that lap. So this is a great dice further down the field. But out front, Michael Schmidt, and looking over his shoulder is John T. Collard just behind them.
Teddy Brook as well. A lonely ride there for Teddy Brook in 6th place. If he looks behind him, you'll see a gaggle of Red Square ZX10 Cup riders. Here they come up to turn number 5. Is Ian Harwood lining up a move on the inside of Henk Scaling? Is he going to get close enough? We go on board with a new factory-looking Sifiso Temba down into 2nd gear. You'll get on the acceleration very gently here. It's so easy to high-side yourself standing up the bike beautifully there. Very action style, riding style there from Sifiso Temba on board now. You can see bike 69, Henk Scaling flicking it left, short shifts 3rd gear into the final turn of the Zwartkops track.
Ian Harwood will be looking for an overtake as they come into the final turn. No, can't do it there, but he runs up the inside. He's going to get better drive. So this is all planned. Ian Harwood looks like he's going to try and make a move as they come down into turn number 1, and he goes up on the inside. Unbelievable. Just up the road from him is Gareth Jackson. So Henry Scaling drops another place. Him and Harwood swapping positions all the time, but this time looks like Harwood's made it stick.
That's a very brave place to do it as well. Ian Harwood on the inside gets himself up into 8th place. Henk Scalen, check out that Night Rider dash, just screaming all over the place. Meanwhile, look who's still out front. Michael Smith, nothing to lose. He's still holding off Jaco Koos and Graham from Radar, your 2 top title contenders. So Jaco Koos, he does not need this. He needs to get in front of bike number 49. So it's 49, 43, 41, 44, your top 4 riders.
Jaco Koos is keeping an eye here. He's very good at the top of the hill. That's where he's going to make his move on Michael Smith. Smith seems better down into turn 1. Talking about 1, did you see the 1 there? There's Henny the Flag holding out the last lap board. So we're on the last lap of this race. Oh, bit of a slide there going from Jonty Collard as well as we head into that last lap.
Oh, good luck trying to pass Johan Leroux on this last lap. Jonty Collard, you are not going to do that. Here's that massive battle. Ian Harwood, just ahead of them is Gareth Jackson on the inside. Rowan Olbers are trying to make that move. Can't make it stick. Cole Robeck's in the mix there as well. The pit boards come out. +1. That is the gap between the 2 riders. A little bit further back, that's Henk Scaling. You can see right on his tail. This is going to be a move on the inside by bike number 34, Ruan Olberhausen. No, Henk Scaling just closes that line, does not allow him through.
On board with Sofiso Tembo. Sofiso Tembo, turn number 2, has lost the front end, and the bike is lying in the grass. We're on the last lap, so we're going to follow the leaders. Hopefully Sofiso is going to be okay. And the bike. And look at Graham from Barra now looking to go into second position. Back out on track, we have got the Panaganapathy. So he's come back out on track, but right at the back of the field. Here's our leader, Michael Smith, right behind him, Jaco Koos. And right there is Graham from Barra. Will he make a move on the last corner?
I don't think so, Dave. I think he's got championship on the mind. It's going to be very risky. He's going to settle. Looks like our top 3 are going to settle as they were. It's going to be Michael Smith. This is going to be an awesome ride from the man. He loves coming to Zwartkops and just proving once again that he's going to be a top contender heading into 2020. He comes across the line, and in the official results, it is that man, Michael Smith, just ahead of Jaco Koos, Graham from Radar, Johan Leroux with another top 5 finish ahead of Jonty Collard, Teddy Brook, Gareth Jackson, and Ian Harwood up there in 8th place. Brilliant ride from the TRP Bridgestone man. Let's go to pits then and catch up with your first time winner in the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. It's Michael Smith.
The race was quite hard. I must say the track wasn't at its best, but it was the same for all, so I'm definitely going to take this win. I really actually felt good the whole weekend already. I just want to thank a few guys, Team Fish Curry, my father-in-law, my dad was here today, and this is for my son. He's been waiting for me to win one, so I'm glad to give this win to him. Thanks a lot.
Welcome back to a sunny and windy Zwartkops Raceway for race number 2 of the Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup. We've seen an almighty battle in race number 1. The fans have come out and once again witnessed world-class motorcycle racing here at the Extreme Festival of Motorsport. Our ZX10 Cup riders lining up on the grid then for the second and final time here today at Zwartkops Raceway. Can Graham from Radar turn that number 41 into a number 1 plate? There you go, the red lights come on. They'll go off from Radar, looking to get the whole shot again on the limiter, and it's been a brilliant start there. Jonty Collard with a good start from row number 2, but it does look like from Radar, Michael Schmidt and Jaco Koos, the top 3 riders.
Down into turn number 2, Graham from Barra will hold them off. The track's a lot cleaner this time around, so I think the lap times are going to be a lot faster. Oh, who's that going on the outside? It's Jackson up front there, and then behind him, Carl Rohrbeck going very wide into turn number 2.
Good to see Stewie Christie's made it back out on track, and the Panaganapathy, so they've sorted out those problems on their machines from race number 1. And right up in the mix, there's Henk Scaling, a Panaganapathy just behind him. So another good start this from Henk Scaling at the top of the hill from Radar. Track conditions a lot better than they were in race number 1, so he's going to try and check out at the front. Jaco Koos sitting in 3rd place is the man with all the work to do. A couple of riders going a little bit wide at the top of the hill. Johan Leroux, also another brilliant start up in the mix. Ian Harwood was the biggest loser from that start. He's dropped about 4 or 5 places down now outside the top 10.
Jonty Collard comes through that final corner on the Papa's Pizzas Ovens Kawasaki. Good drive down into turn number 1. Right behind him, Teddy Brook better start this time as well. He's on the tail of Johan Leroux.
Let's just have a look out front, and as we go on board here into turn number 2, Johan Leroux, there he is, chasing down Jonty Collard. Those two battled it out hard in race number 1. Johan Leroux getting the better of Collard there. So at the moment, it is Jonty Collard out front ahead of Johan Leroux, but watch out for the battle for 4th place. Top 3 just extending now. You can see From Redar has pulled the hammer down. He doesn't want to get involved in any kind of confrontation with Michael Smith looking for that double win. He wants to just pull away from Jaco Koos and wrap this title up here at the penultimate round.
Just looking at the points board, if it stays like this right now, Graham Van der Merwe will be the 2019 Red Square ZX10 Masters Cup champion. On board with Jaco Koos. Great shot of Koos, bike number 43 as he heads down to that final turn.
Yeah, you can see how much work these riders have to do, standing on those pegs, changing direction left to right. Really is a physically and mentally demanding circuit here at Zwartkops Raceway. And that's what makes Johan Leroux's ride so much more impressive, because at 60 whatever years of age, he's still able to mix it with some of our younger statesmen at the front end.
Just to go through the Class C riders, those are the Masters, don't forget. Johan Leroux is leading that at the moment. Teddy Brooks also a Class C rider, as is Henk Scaling and Carl Rohrbeck. So there's a lot of opposition in that category, and Stewie Christie at the moment looks like he might be catching a punter.
Yeah, it's the perfect category to let these older statesmen come and race competitively and obviously in a safe environment. Really has been a great addition to the Extreme Festival of Motoring. As we go to the top of the hill now, turn number 5. Once again, you can see 3 or 4 riders abreast in that mid-pack dice. From Redar, though, he's just churning out those lap times. The only rider to dip into the 104s for now, although it looks like Michael Smith and Jaco Koos is now closing that gap down. So our top 3 have pulled away. It's a battle for 4th place between Johan Leroux and Jonty Collard. There it is, going into turn 1. Again, Teddy Brooks stuck there in no man's land in 6th place, but a Panaganapathy now making his way through up into 7th.
Looks to me like Jaco Koos is going to try and make a plan. Now, don't forget, he's a lot quicker at the top of the hill. That's where he's doing all of his out-braking. So are we lining something up right now? Because this is going to be interesting how Jaco Koos handles Michael Smith at the top of the hill.
He's got to get the drive coming out of turn number 4. You can see just bouncing all over the place there. He does look like he's got really good drive. That might be a little bit too far back. From Redar hard on the anchors. Look at that fairing onto the front mudguard, putting a lot of pressure on the front end of that Bridgestone R11 tyre. Just behind him, Michael Schmidt. Different riding styles you can see there. From Redar, old GP style sitting upright. A bit more Kevin Schwann style there from Michael Schmidt. And a bit more new school from Jaco Koos. Super Motard style there from the former Motard racer, doing everything he can. Stewie Christie in a good little battle there with Aubrey Marais. So much better ride this in the second heat from Aubrey Marais.
Aubrey Marais much faster this time around. I think maybe the conditions in the first race put him off a bit. There is a Panaganapathy though, leading out this group.
Ian Harwood coming down the hill into the final turn, nowhere near the top 8 finish that he got in race number 1. So he's got a lot of work to do. Again, just maybe suffering with those bike gremlins that he's had the last couple of rounds. On board, Henk Scaling. This is a beautiful shot of Ruan Alberhauser looking to make up a move. That's probably one of the best places to do it. You come out of turn 1, all kinds of out of shape. Goes Henk Scaling, and Ruan Alberhauser must be sick of hearing and seeing that ZX10 in front of him, all kinds of out of shape and just bobbling all over the place.
Looks like he's a difficult man to pass, as I Henk Scaling. There, Johan Leroux has got ahead then of Jonty Collard. Here on board with Michael Smith, looking for something on the brakes, up on the inside. Jaco Koos, yes, Jaco Koos. That's where we said he would do it, Rob, and he's made it stick this time around.
Yeah, he came from a long way back, and Schmidt looked like he outbroke himself a little bit, couldn't turn it in while holding that front brake, and that just allowed Jaco Koos to make the move. Now, does Koos have enough time and pace to close down on his championship rival, Graham Van der Merwe? Because as it stands at the moment, Van der Merwe will be lifting that number 1 title, so he's got to try and step up. He's just put his fastest lap of the race, a 105.1. It's just not enough to close that gap.
The big group behind Panaganapathy, Stewie Christie. Ian Harwood running up on the inside of the brakes of Carl Rohrbeck. Gareth Jackson also in there as well with the Morphine Racing Kawasaki. Behind them, Lefraz Fritz and Cliffy Ogle.
Yeah, Cliffy Ogle just battling on that Suomi Africa motorcycle there, not setting that bike up the way he wants to. So expect a little bit more there from Clifford Ogle as we go with Van der Merwe to the top of the hill. Could this be the swan song? Could this be the perfect end to what has been a perfect season so far for Van der Merwe? Beautiful slow-mo shot there of Collard. He has a look over his shoulder and says, how did this Johan Leroux once again get past me?
I think he was checking to see where Teddy Brook was. There's a Panaganapathy. He's 4 seconds behind them now with Stewie Christie in turn. Aubrey Marais. Great ride from Aubrey there on first digital bike. Gareth Jackson, Carl Rohrbeck, they're having their dice as well. Jackson a bit further back this time around. A punter. You can't miss him with that orange visor on the white crash helmet.
Yeah, I love the riding style there of Stewie Christie. It never gets old. He gets that ZX10 all kinds of out of shape all the time. Not afraid at pushing the limits on that machine is the vet. As we come into the final stages of this race, now from Breda out of turn one, you can see Jaco Close has certainly maintained, if anything, closed that gap ever so slightly. Michael Smith doesn't look like he's got the pace here now in race number 2 to pull off the double win on the day. So another podium finish there for him. But it's all about Jaco Close. From Breda will start getting that gap coming down ever so slightly. He's got to apply that pressure. That's all that Jaco Close can do now.
Just looking at the lap chart, they picked up half a second on Van Breda in that lap. So there's half a second. He's got him in his sights right now. It's not going to make much difference to that championship title for Graham Van Breda. But as we head into the final stage of this race, Van Breda, I think he's a little bit in cruise mode. You can see there, not quite as hard on the front end as he was the previous laps.
Yeah, he's just trying to smoothen it out maybe. Maybe he pushed so hard at the beginning, got a little bit too much heat in those tyres. And Jaco Close, I think this is just championship on the mind. Jaco Close is a very determined rider, lost so much weight as he gets high-sided almost into oblivion, but he really has come into the 2019 season a different kind of rider. Lost that weight, looking very fit and hungry. 2020 is going to be another very exciting season.
There are our top 3 riders. They've been at it all day long. They were at it on Friday as well, during the practice sessions. Behind them, just checking the lap charts, does look like Johan Leroux is holding off John Carlo. We're on board here with Michael Smith. Late apex, hard on the gas, comes out of there. Second, third, short shift to fourth as they go through that frighteningly fast turn 3.
Now almost rear wheel steering it through there. That is Teddy Brook. Again, a lonely ride, but he is certainly closing down that gap on John Collard. So it could be a change up there between those. That bird will want to get out of the way because we have got the fastest Red Square ZX10 Masters in the land doing battle here in the final stages of this penultimate round. Close is doing everything he possibly can. He really is pushing that machine, as is Teddy Brook. That gap to John Collard is coming down now. So that's the battle for 5th and 6th place.
Collard looks over his shoulder once again, and what does he see? He sees the Brook refrigeration bike coming in bike number 93. But out front, it is going to be Graham Van Breda who's bringing this one home. He's had a brilliant ride here today. He knew he could do it. First race, didn't like the conditions, thought, let me just give it away a little bit. We've got 1 lap to go. You probably see Henny the Flag coming out with the last lap. There he is. Last lap board is out, so these riders will know that there's not long to go. There's only these 2.5 Ks left of racing. We're on board with Jan Leroux. As he comes across the finish line, he'll be in 4th position with that lap to go, leading Class C as well. Then we've got John T. Collard, Class A. Teddy Brook right behind him, the Class C rider.
Yeah, John Collard looks like he's just hit a brick wall. That's why he's looking over his shoulder so much. He's coming into the clutches now there of Teddy Brook. A Panaganapathy, a lonely 7th ride there, but he's ahead of Stewie Christie and Aubrey Murray up inside the top 10. Brilliant ride there. This is the battle a little bit further down. You can see still going on there. Henk Scaling holding off Ruan Albahazer. He must be so peeved at not being able to get ahead of Henk Scaling.
Henk Scaling has ridden a great race. Don't forget he's also been taking part in the Bridgestone races as well, so he'll be pretty tired after this one. So last lap, Van Breda goes up the hill for the very last time at this track in 2019. And this has been a superb performance from champion 2 years ago, don't forget. And last year he lost that championship. So now that number 1 plate will be back on the bike.
Yeah, it's been a dominant year from Graham Van Breda, but Jaco Close has pushed him literally all the way down to the wire. Just didn't have enough in the tank here. Van Breda is going to put another championship performance in here. And it is now officially 2 hands on that 2019 Red Square ZX10 Cup trophy. There he is, your 2019 championship winner, Graham Van Breda, at the top of the monitor there in Stefanuti Stocks Kawasaki. It's Jaco Close in 2nd place, Michael Smith in 3rd, Johan Leroux, John T. Collard, Teddy Brook, Apanaganapathy and Stewie Christie, your top 8 riders in race number 2. Let's go down to the pits then and catch up with a very excited Van Breda.
We're super happy to have won the championship today. We've still got another round to go in PE. I was hoping to wrap it up in the first heat, but the track was not good condition after one of the cars blew up, so I was a little bit tentative, didn't take the chances I should have when I had them. But I suppose I had 2 heats to do it in and really happy, and biggest thanks must go to the team and all the sponsors. My dad and Peter Work gave me a really good bike for this year, and thank you to Kawasaki, to Red Square and to Bridgestone for all their continued support, and to my sponsors, to Stefanuti Stocks. Thanks guys, without you it wouldn't have been possible. Motel, EK Chains, thank you very much to everybody, and stay really happy to have won again.
The Red Square ZX10 rider of the day does go to Gareth Jackson.
Listen, it was a little bit harder than I thought it would be. Race 1 was kind of, you had to stick to the same lines, so you were limited a lot of the time. But it was, it was getting past the Oaks in this class is extremely difficult. So it's an achievement when you can get past any one of these guys at the moment. Race 2 was a little bit, my times were a little bit quicker, but I slowed back a little bit at the end, a little bit of fatigue. The track was a little bit warmer as well, so I think my age catches up to me every now and then.
Upon a Ganapathy on the warm-up lap in race number 1 apparently didn't have enough fuel in his bike. If you're going to do it on the warm-up lap, eh?
So I had to come in, fill fuel, and only got 5 laps in after that. But race 2 was quite good. Had an okay start. 2 guys, Teddy and JLR, did come past me. And Henk passed me into turn 3, and then had to try get back past him, and then rode pretty much on my own for the rest of the race, but had a good race. And my fuel aid came on after I just finished, which is probably the right time it should come on.
Don't ever forget that fuel. Down to the TRP podium. Graham from Idar, your new champion on the top step. Jakukos in second place there. Michael Smith in third place. What a season it has been. Remember to join us for the finale down at Aldo Scribanti in Port Elizabeth on the 16th of November. All the ZX10 Masters Cup action is proudly brought to you by Red Square for ultimate activation.